Welcome to the AFROCENTRIST podcast, where we explore everything from personal development to fulfillment, African pride, dating, and all things that make your spirit thrive. The AFROCENTRIST podcast is not just for Afrocentric people, but for everybody. Our shows will entertain as well as educate and focus on uplifting positivity. So, take some time out on your commute or lunch break and plug in with us and be inspired. The AFROCENTRIST podcast, proudly African.
And then now the impact comes in. So whilst I was at Curtin University, I was part of a women's empowerment organization that was based in Cape Town called Self-Defined. It's Christian-based, which is what I loved. And basically, we used our platform on social media to encourage young girls, wherever we could, to become the very best versions of themselves, whether it was sports-wise, academically, or, arts-wise. And we always showcase their talent on our social media pages. It was very motivating and very encouraging to be part of Self-Defined. And even though it started in South Africa, we ended up having ambassadors from Zambia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and it was an amazing movement. It's still moving today. Unfortunately, it didn't fit into where I want to go with in my life.
So you had to stop.
Yeah, okay. I had to leave, but I was an ambassador with them for years. And I got to represent them at the New York University of Abu Dhabi, where I explained the work that we did, the impact that it did, and getting on that platform and having an article written about the work that we did was such a highlight.
A huge thing.
Exactly. And I was just straightening the narrow of what feminism is. And I remember the interviewer asking me, so you feminist, is it more like you want to be like men? And I was like...
was he a girl?
No, he was a man. But that question had to be asked, And I said to him, because I said it specifically because I knew many people would read it, and I wanted people to understand. The message is not to try to
be like man, no.
I am comfortable in my feminineness. I know the balance, of the aggressiveness and my femininity, right? But what we're saying is that we just want the same opportunities. If I want to work at a Big Four firm, I should have an equal opportunity, right? You shouldn't be chosen because you're a man. I want my abilities to
qualify me.
Exactly. Yeah. Social standing. I don't want myself to be married to be recognized in society. Why can't I be recognized as a single person, just like how single men are also well recognized? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I was explaining that to him, and I was like, that is the focal point of the message, And when that article gained some traction, a lot of girls were really
could resonate
with it, and I think for them that was also a part where they could also get awareness of what this movement is actually about, because men always say we don't like feminists, we don't like the girls who talk too much,
who are too outspoken.
Those kind of girls don't get married or whatever. So I wanted that.
Like they don't love, they're robots. Really?
Exactly. So I was straightening that rod in that moment, and I didn't stop there. I still use my gift of speaking to people, and like I mentioned during the event, it's important to empower every girl that you meet. You know what I mean? Every single girl that you meet, because when I was growing up, even though we had Zimbabwe's conservative society, Africa's conservative society, my mother is a strong woman. She puts order. She's like, she should be a CEO. I don't know why she's not a CEO. Mom, why you're not a CEO?
Why, Mom? Why?
But she is CEO material. I grew up with that. And then I had teachers who were very encouraging, who always told me to fight for what I wanted and not always, aim for marriage. There's so much more that you can do yourself without that.
Absolutely.
And
it's not like you're saying I'm not going to marry. But
exactly.
You need to be whole in yourself. Like, I feel a lot of damage has been done to young women in Africa to make them feel like if you don't get married, like you don't deserve a voice. No. And we're not saying it's not okay to daydream or to be clear
in your mind's eye what you want your marriage to look like. But we're saying as a woman, you can actually be whole, you can actually start fulfilling your purpose, right? While the right guy comes to you. So that he even sees, like, that's what, both of you would know, okay, this is where this girl is going. Am I able to support? Am I able to be a part of the story? If I don't want to be, then, they can go. But that's why you see a lot of people think, because of the way we've been brought up in some part of in some part of Africa, like, so we hold on and then look out for the marriage first. And then when we settle, we decide to, okay, now at least I'm married. Let me start pursuing my dream. But then it's too late, because sometimes it's too late, because then the person you got married to didn't know that side of you before you got married.
Exactly.
And so it's like, who are you? Why are you changing all of a sudden? But the truth is, you're not changing. This has always been you. But because of the thought that if you're not married, why do you want to be all that? If you become all that, you might not end up with a good marriage, right? So you kind of tone down a bit to get married, and then you want to all of it won't work. Okay. So be you. If you are an alpha female, be your alpha self, because there will be alpha men that can deal with you, or maybe a gentleman who doesn't mind having an alpha woman as their partner, right? The point here is, be you. Be open to dreaming. Be open to walking into your purpose even while you're a young person. And you see, Sandile here has been doing an amazing work. And you said you've been working with KPMG for like a year now.
Yes, exactly, about a year.
You see. And then so even with that, you are now, mentoring younger girls.
Exactly.
How exactly are you doing that?
All right. So I decided to use the experience that I had personally going through my university years and paying it forward to younger girls like myself who need this knowledge to get ahead in their careers. Because for me to get where I had to go, it wasn't just go to university, get a high GPA, and you get a job.
It was more.
There was more that goes into that. And a lot of the workshops that I went to, I felt like there weren't a lot of women getting that information in. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to take it upon myself to teach these young girls what I know. And so I mentor, young women that are usually younger than myself, sometimes older, mostly based in the UAE, university or high school, sometimes outside of the UAE as well, because I've moved to like 3 different countries. So obviously I have access
So you still have access to many
that
people,
network.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I teach them very fundamental skills in career development, such as CV building. I even draft it for them and give them a few tips here and there. I do helping them with interview etiquette, what you need to do in an interview, how you need to answer in an interview, how you need to carry yourself, and most importantly, personal branding, which is something that people overlook all the time. So I help them with all that. Sometimes it's a very brief mentorship, but sometimes I really go into a Zoom call and we discuss the ins and outs.
So do you have that like a running program? Do you bring those people you mentor together, or these sessions are one-on-one?
I've only done one-on-one sessions.
Oh,
so
wow.
far. Yeah. I like one-on-one sessions because then I can really give them the attention that they require.
That's so kind, don't you think, guys? That's so like, and this is not paid mentorship, no?
No, this is something that I just do out of the goodness of my heart, because I was struggling when I got these workshops. And fortunately, they were readily available at university, but people didn't really take them seriously. I did, and it did so much for me. So I want to drive that change and give it to other people who were in my position to get the opportunity to also their career.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Now, for me, I'm also always looking for ways to give back, pay it forward. And I'm big on OPK. That's what it's called. Other people's knowledge, right? Like, I don't have to be the expert here, but I have access to experts like her. I mean, seriously, to be in one of the big fours, right? KPMG.
Yeah, KPMG, yeah.
It ain't no easy thing. It's not easy, right? So for her to have been able to get in there, there is something she knows. There is a process she went through. And out of the generosity of her heart, she's sharing this. For me, I always think if you can give to 1, you can give to 10, you can give to 100, right? So right now on the spot, I'm thinking I'm going to work, with Sandile. I'm going to discuss with her after the show and see how we can put together a webinar where we can then, call for more young ladies. So if you're watching this and you know any lady around the age of 16 to 20, that means you're in high school, or you're in your way to university, or you're already in university, or you're freshly graduated. So, if you are older than 20, it's fine. If you're okay with learning from somebody younger, that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Remove that cultural.
Exactly. Remove the age thing, right?
20-year-old.
I know.
Yeah.
So exactly. So if you're okay with learning from somebody younger, then please, you can jump on it as well. But we're going to put it together as a webinar so that we can reach out to more young girls. So we have that webinar. You're able to ask her all the questions. What did she do? I don't want her to, if we go into that right now, this session would not end, okay? It's already in 2 parts. Let's not make it have a 3rd part, right? So you're going to be able to ask her exactly what she did. What should you look out for if you're aiming to go into big multinationals? There are processes to these things, and there is a method to the madness. And for somebody who has found their way there and she's willing to share, I think that would be a very good one. So watch out. Follow her across her social media platform. What's your social media handle?
So my main one is the diva_Sandy, but I have another one, which I'm not very active on, which is Sandile Nkala_.
Okay, so yeah. I'm going to add all the links to her social media platform. But one good one, especially if you're a career person and you're looking to build a sophisticated career, right? Then you want to follow her on LinkedIn. LinkedIn it's not Instagram. It's for serious-minded people. And if you want to build your career and want to connect with the people that are going in the same direction that you're going, or people that have gone ahead of you in the direction that you're going. So you want to connect with her on LinkedIn. I'm going to drop the link to our LinkedIn and our social media platform to the video of this podcast and also to the audio of this podcast. But also follow me personally at Ejiro Sakede. And you can reach out to her before we put together the webinar and ask her all the questions. She would reach out. She would answer you as soon as she can, because she's also a busy person. But she would answer you as soon as she can. But when you're doing that, also remember to say, I watched your interview on the Afrocentrist podcast. And so you get special treatment. Like seriously, I open doors for people now and I'm so happy.
Awesome.
All right. So with this segment on the Afrocentrist podcast, I would like to leave you with a question. And when you're answering this question, you can answer it in any of these formats. You can, answer it as a comment in the comment section on our Instagram handle, or my Instagram handle, or on the YouTube channel in the comment section. Or you can send an email to theafrocentrist@gmail.com, right? She's talked about, career, being a career person, and empowering women, but also feminism, right? Ooh. So the question is, what is your take on feminism? I know this is a topic that has been battered, talked about, scattered, picked, pieces, but we can't talk about it enough because it's a concept, it's a movement. And it would be nice to hear what your perception to it is. You've heard our perception, and I think I kind of resonate with her perception to it. Like, it's not, I want to be like a man. No, I'm okay being a woman, but I'm saying, why should we have different opportunities? Why should we not be able to access the same opportunities? Why should a man have to get a position because they're a man and I can't get it because I'm a woman? You see, that's what feminism is from her point of view. What is yours? So send us your answers and let's, have this conversation and let's learn from each other. I love to see different perspective and I would like to see yours. Okay. So here is where we draw the curtain on this segment. But before we close, I would like to ask Sandile. For example, you talked about, how you've been in different part of the world. You've stayed in 3 major countries of the world. Somebody, a young lady watching this right now, thinking, well, as much as she's saying at some point it wasn't easy for her, at least she has lived in 3 different countries. So it means, well, maybe they're not that poor. My parents are poor. I can't even travel out of my country. So how am I able to get the same opportunities that she's getting? What would you say to that young girl?
The first thing I would say to you is remove that mindset. Whatever you think is what you become. First of all. You know, the world is your oyster. If you want to achieve something, you totally can. There's tons of stories to back that up. And the second one is, as long as you have access to the internet, absolutely nothing can stop you. The world has become like one country because of globalization. You know, we have access to things that people across the world have access to. And, you know, when my parents told me that I should go back to study in South Africa, it could have ended there. I could have been like, you know what, we don't have the financial situation for me to study abroad. So you know what, I'm just going to sit it out and go to South Africa. But that's not what I did. I went to my laptop. I didn't go scrolling on Instagram and TikTok, no. And I was like figuring out how I could maneuver that situation. And I found out that, you know what, you can get scholarships. I had the grades for it. I got the scholarship. And my parents could put me in. Of course, the rest I kind of had to do myself. But that's the beauty of it. You can go to Europe or the States or whatever. You can get in. And then once you settle in, you can then start to work yourself up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Internships. There's internships all over the world, even virtual internships.
Yeah.
Getting that experience on your CV will open doors for you. These organizations will pay for your flights. They will pay for your accommodation as you try to figure yourself out. Guys, it's there. But the first thing really that I want you to do is to not limit yourself. That is the fault of any man.
The foundation, your mindset. Believe it, I can achieve this. Exactly. If Sandile has done it, I can do it too. Right? It's not like she's now 50, right? She's still young. And in this space of time, she's been able to get this far. And I know there's more, right? Because she's going to be a CEO soon.
I receive.
So nothing is impossible. And I love it. As long as you have your internet, the world is like in your palms. So you just need to channel what you're focusing on. Look for the opportunities. There are even free universities online that you can enroll for. Go do it. So you don't need to travel yet. I mean, even books. Even reading books exposes your mind.
It does. I spent my whole life reading.
Gosh. So please, it is possible. It's, yes, the situations might be different for all of us, but the internet has made it reachable to all of us, right? So you don't have to travel, but you can travel when you have the right information. And you don't even have to maybe have the money yet. There are ways around it, right? So please look for the right information. Surround yourself with the right kind of people so that you're always thinking positive. You're always thinking, I can. You're always thinking it is possible. And you're focusing on, okay, how? How can I do this? Rather than, I can't, or I don't, or you can. Girl, you can. Bro, you can. I'm not talking to girls alone, but brothers, you can. All right? So thank you so much for being here today. So see part 1 and part 2 of this session. Send in your answers to the question until I come your way again with yet another amazing woman sharing her story and her impact. My name is Ejiro Osakade, aka the Energetic EJ, signing out and saying have a blessed day, y'all. Bye.